What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and today's video will obviously be a bit different. I haven't made a video in nearly 4 months now, and I'll just get right to it. The reason is because I accepted a job with the Dallas Mavericks, and the title of my position is Basketball Analytics Liaison. And to be honest, that's kind of a fancy title, but I don't really know what it means. If I were to describe my job, I would say I do a mix of video and scouting work. That's how I describe it. And so, as I sit here, I know this video is going to be bittersweet because on one hand, I'm thrilled to be working in the NBA. But on the other hand, I can no longer make videos on the channel. It's just not allowed. And this channel really has meant everything to me. And so to all of a sudden not be able to make videos, it has been a bit tough. So what I wanted to do actually for the rest of this video is talk about my experience on the channel a bit. Now seems like a good time. Because I don't know about you guys, but I always like it when other YouTubers or creators talk about their journey on YouTube and how they built up their channel. So that's what I'm going to do for this video. I'll start with how 7 years ago I started my channel and how 7 years later it landed me a job with the Dallas Mavericks. So I started this channel when I was 15 years old and I was a sophomore in high school, which seems crazy to think about. I mean, this was when LeBron was still on the Heat and my life was pretty much completely different. But I started the channel basically because I became obsessed with the tactics and X's and O's of basketball. And I had played growing up, I played in high school, but for some reason, just the tactical part of it, I became just completely passionate about it. I would read these dense coaching books, and I would watch and rewatch every B-ball breakdown video. And Coach Nick's site is eventually the reason I started my channel. And it should be noted that I was always a pretty creative kid and teenager growing up. And so Coach Daniel wasn't the first YouTube channel I started. In fact, a year before that, me and a few friends, just for fun, started a sports blog website. And so I was already dipping my toes into content creation, but Coach Daniel was really what stuck. And I think it's just because I had found my passion. And so I was consistent with making videos. And by the time I graduated high school, I would say I had about 15,000 subscribers. So a good amount, but also it wasn't some kind of explosive growth either. And I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison for college. And one of the reasons I wanted to go there was because they had a really big and prestigious Division I basketball program. And this was right off the Frank Kaminsky Final Four run. So my plan, which turned out to kind of be a naive plan, was to get a student manager position at Wisconsin. And I thought I would get a position because I had this channel which showed how dedicated I was to basketball, and I just assumed that it would help me get a manager spot. But I didn't get a manager position, and what I later kind of found out is that there's a lot of competition for a manager spot at a school like Wisconsin, even though it's a volunteer job. But really, it's funny how things work out, and not getting a manager spot turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it allowed me to focus more on my channel. My sophomore year of college was big in this respect. I kind of changed my approach to making videos. Before, how I would make a video was I'd pick a topic. So I would choose, say, the Warriors offense, and to make a video on that, I'd download a few full games from online. I'd watch the games, pick the clips I wanted to use, and go to the editing process and make the video. But sophomore year, I believe I heard Zach Lowe watched a minimum of 2 or 3 full NBA games a day. And I decided I wanted to do that. And so I did. It took about 4 hours each day, and I would take notes on the games. It was a commitment, but I would say it was a worthwhile one because during that time period, especially the first few months, I could just feel my basketball IQ and knowledge of the game skyrocketing because I was watching so much more film than I ever had before. And it changed the way I made videos because now I would spot something on film that would catch my attention and I'd make a video on that. And so I wouldn't just pick my video topics beforehand. Let's skip ahead to April of 2019 because this was really my my breakthrough on the channel. So I'd been making videos for, I believe, over 5 years at that point. I was a junior in college, and I released a video about how the Bucks were defending James Harden with a unique strategy. And that video pretty quickly got over 3 million views, and it became the most viewed video on my channel, and it still is the most viewed video on my channel. And I don't really know how the YouTube algorithm works, but the success of that video, the momentum of it, carried over to the videos to the rest for the rest of the playoffs. And so now all of a sudden I was getting hundreds of thousands of views per video, which had never happened before. And to be honest, that month of April, it was one of the best months of my life, hands down, because it finally felt like the work I'd put in the prior 5 years was finally starting to pay off, and I was getting the recognition I thought I deserved. And so when I graduated college in May of last year, I wanted to do YouTube full time. And a little bit of background, so throughout college I also did, besides doing the work on my channel, I did a few in-person internships in basketball. During those internships I learned a lot, and I made connections within the industry. So I felt like I'd put myself in a strong position, so after college I can get some kind of job in basketball, whether that be a graduate assistant position at a college or some kind of internship or even something volunteer based, just to get started and to pursue a career in basketball and hopefully coaching. But because the channel really exceeded my wildest expectations, I wanted to continue to make videos, and I enjoyed doing it. And so that's what I did for a few months. And then in the fall, that's when the Mavericks reached out to me and said, would I be interested in working for the Mavericks? And it definitely wasn't quite that random. I knew there were people in the organization that liked my videos and thought I did good work, but it still came as a surprise. To be honest, it wasn't a difficult decision. In a lot of ways, it felt like a no-brainer because it was a job in the NBA, and even though I would have to give up making videos, it felt like the right move to make. What I will say is, while I miss making videos, of course, because I had been making videos for the last 7 years, and because really I feel like my channel overachieved, and I'm very proud of what the channel became, it doesn't feel like I'm leaving YouTube prematurely. So that's the update, and I had to make this video because I wanted to say thank you to you guys. I know there are people watching right now who have been a fan of the channel for years, and so I just wanted to make this video to say thank you and let you know what I'm up to, and hopefully some of you found it interesting. And that's about it. I don't expect this video to be the last video on my channel or anything like that, but it will be the last one for a while. So thank you, and until next time, have a good one, guys.